Today on Cooking with Chef Fred, I'm going to show you how to make this red, white, and blue cake for the 4th of July. So stick around and I'm going to show you how we put it together right now. Okay, we're going to preheat our oven to 350 degrees, and then I'm going to use Baker's Joy and spray our cake pans. Get on the sides and get the bottom real good. I love this Baker's Joy because it has the flour already in the mix, and it's just a simple spray, easy to oil and flour your pans, that easy. Okay, so let's get our cake mix going. We're going to put our cake mix into our stand mixer, and to that we'll add our 3 egg whites, our 1 cup of water, and I'm going to measure out 1/3 cup of vegetable oil, and that goes into the mix, and then we mix. Okay, now that's been going for 2 minutes. We turn it off and then we'll be ready to put them in our bowls to mix the colors. Let's do that now. Okay, now we're going to divide our cake mix up into 2 different bowls so that we can make our colors. We'll get those mixed up, and a lot of times I'll use a scale to divide it up so that I get it nice and even. But since this is just 2 layers, I can pretty much eyeball it. Okay, so I'm using these gel colorings, and with it, it doesn't take much. So what I do is I put a little bit on my toothpick, and then I just take it and swirl it around. Now to get the red, it's probably going to take a little bit more, and you just take and you just mix it up until you get the color that you're looking for. Well, the red, sometimes it takes a little bit because it'll end up just being pink. So I want to give that a nice, all right, so that looks good for the red. Now for the blue. Now the blue, it doesn't take as much. Red takes a good bit, but the blue, it doesn't take much for it to turn blue. Now we're going to put our cake into our cake pans and get them. Okay, and then what I like to do is just put a towel down on the cabinet, on the countertop, and then I just give this a nice pat down, and this gets the air bubbles out and gets it nice and level, so you'll have a level cake. Alright, so I'll get the blue in and we'll get those in the oven and get them baked up. Okay, we're going to pull our cakes out and let them sit on the cooling rack and cool. Okay, now we're going to ice our cake. I have some cream cheese frosting already made here. And if you'd like to get that recipe, I will link it up right here and you can check that out. So what we're going to do is I'm going to put a little dollop on my cake. And what I'm going to do is I've got my turntable here on a towel, and then I've got a wet paper towel on top of my turntable so that it will hold this and it won't slip everywhere. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to invert my cake and just scoot it over and get it centered up. And that frosting that we put on the other side, that would just help it stick to the board so it doesn't slide on us. Now I've got a simple syrup here, which this is just half water, half sugar. And I'm going to take this simple syrup and give this a nice coat. This will help make sure that your cake is nice and moist. We want to make sure that our cake is nice and moist and not dry. Okay, and we just give that a good paint. Just paint it like you're gonna paint. Okay, now we're going to take a dollop of our icing, and then with an offset spatula, what I do is I go just from the center and I start just spreading it out. Now if I don't necessarily want to get it really thick right now, if I just do a crumb coat, that's fine, because I'm going to go back and put more on it. I just want to give it a nice like that. And now I'll go back and I'll put a little bit more on there, because we're doing a red, white and blue cake. I want the center to have a good bit of icing so that I get the white stripe. And we just take this and just give it a nice turn right to the edge. Okay, and then we just make sure that it's nice and flat. Then we're ready to put our blue cake on. We just put it on, make sure it's good. And this too gets a coat of the simple syrup. Alrighty, give that a nice good brush. I like a cake that is nice and moist. I don't like dry cakes. So I want to make sure it's going to be nice and moist. Alrighty, then I put a dollop, good dollop of frosting. And then we're going to just give it a good spread. And now this time we're going to spread it right to the edge so that it goes over. Okay, and then once it goes over, we just give it a nice spread. final spread. Now the edges, I want them to be kind of rough around here. Normally what I would do is take this knife and dip it in hot water and go around and smooth it out. But I want it to have kind of a rustic, not be just completely smooth. I want it to be a little rustic. And then we're going to take our sprinkles and just give it a nice sprinkle. Okay, now what I'm going to do is just give it a little tap just so it will set. Okay, now let's take a look on the inside and see what we got. And here we go, our red, white, and blue cake. Thanks for joining me today. Be sure to like and subscribe on this channel. Also, if you see anything in the video that you would like to have, please visit my link, Kitchen Supplies, and you can pick up some of those items. Let's give this a taste. Get that crunchy top. Cake is very moist and delicious, and you get that cream cheese icing is so delicious. So this is Chef Fred saying be sure to join us on our next video, and remember, go and cook something great today. This is Chef Fred. We'll see you on the next video. Bye for now.